Hello, fellow pickers and stuff lovers. It's great to see you again. We have been out picking a lot, so we'll probably make a series of videos and you'll see lots of stuff, and let's get to it. I promised you a jewelry haul. This is not a huge jewelry haul. Perhaps it's a portion of the jewelry that I've picked up, but I thought let's go methodically. But then it's probably going to be chaotic anyways, because that's my style. But that's it. I picked up some really cheap jewelry, so it was hard to refuse. Like this bracelet, which I'm not keeping, even though I like it on me. And this matching necklace was $1. So some of this jewelry might not be the most absolutely mind-boggling things I've ever picked up, because I like to pick up jewelry and I like to see if I can find something that is well, either popular or just unique and interesting, that has a good chance. But when the prices are so cheap, it's really hard to resist. You know, maybe some of this, maybe if it had been like $3 to $4, I would have said, nah, you know, it's not that great. But when it's $1 and 50 cents, I'm like, well, just throw it in the bag. I'll put it up on eBay and see how it does. And Etsy. So that was that. At a community sale a couple of weeks ago, I picked up this pendant, which is like cut glass, I believe. I like the size. I like that you can't miss it. And I looked at the chain and it does say 925, so that's sterling, that's silver, so it was $1, so I took that. Then I saw, this is a bit of a departure for me, this pendant, which is in very good condition, has kind of like Murano glass beads and inserts, and then this pale green loveliness. Okay, I do not know anything about jade and certain other things like that, but I took a chance because, again, it was $1. And this is a bunny, and I know that bunnies and certain animals in Asian culture represent certain things like luck or prosperity or that sort of thing, and that coupled with the fact that it's light green might be a type of jade, maybe, which is pretty popular, pretty valuable, and even if it's not, it's very nice glass inserts. I love that dangly pendant. I think it has nice motion, and just thought, you know, sure, I'll try that for $1. But as to whether it's jade or not, or how I'm going to find out, I do not know. We'll see. Oh, by the way, this is called Moon Glow. It's known as Moon Glow. It's plastic, basically. I guess it's lucite. And from the 50s, 60s. At the garage sale we went to this weekend, there were tons of garage sales the past weekend, and we picked up some really good deals and fun things. This is a hinged cuff, and it's a little bit older. I just like that it's got different colored metals, and also is, as you may surmise, a locket with a picture of a nun inside. That was a bit more expensive. That was $5, but the lady was letting me pick out some other jewelry. It all came to $12. I got something like 7 or 8 pieces, so you know, I felt like all in all it was a good bargain. We'll see how that does. This was $1. And again, with this one, why I picked it out is the motion. That ribbon has a kick to it. You know, it's not missing any stones. The stones are still very brilliant, even though it dates from probably 50s or 60s. This is one of those things I picked up because it was $1. But I like the texture on that. And I could see how, if you're going to go and buy contemporary items, I think it's a good idea to look for something that is outrageous, because again, it's something that you may not be able to go buy just anywhere, has a lot of style. This is pretty outrageous just because it's huge, you know, and it has that textured, woven, basket weave kind of thing. It's not something I haven't seen one like that before. It was $1 and I wanted to try that. We'll see. These are nice little vintage pins. Figural stuff does fairly well because once people like a type of animal or theme, they can become quite the fan of that thing, and they must possess everything that is, you know, little bird or crustacean. So little crab, little bird covered in faux pearls. I think they're very fetching. They're dainty. Again, that's, you know, probably 50s, 60s, maybe even a little later, because they continued making that style of thing for a while. But they were both $0.25. Huge giraffe, I like, because of its size. Again, outrageous thing. You know, it's like, what are you wearing on your lapel? A huge giraffe. Just because it's enameled. It's not signed, that one, as far as I can remember. But I thought it was very nicely done. I've seen some sold on eBay, I think for like $15, $18. So that's nice. We'll see if we can achieve that. If not, well, we can always try the tiger, which has a lot of style. I'm not sure if this one's signed. I'm checking. Yes, it's signed Dorlan, which was not a brand that I would say is spectacular, but sometimes it's nice that it's signed and it gives it a certain respectability. You know, people will go, oh, well, that's still quality. It's signed jewelry, you know, and so that was fun. These things were all $1. This I like, this teapot in that matte golden finish, because again, that's unique, you know, that's funny and funky to have that on your lapel. And this one is signed, but I'm going to have to do a little research to know exactly what. It's part of a museum collection thing. So it's something you would buy at the museum boutique and made for the museum probably. So sometimes that can have particular interest as well. It's fairly well made. It looks like, you know, the real thing, except you can't put tea in it. This was $1. And again, something I have to do research on, but I'm fairly sure that it reads 10 karat gold. So I'm just going to have to make sure that it's not some other, well, like gold filled or something, but it doesn't say anything like that. It's a 10 karat gold and then some letters as well. So I'll try and see, maybe the letters are the maker's mark, but we did test it and it does test for 10 karat gold. So maybe gold, maybe scrap, because as a bracelet, it may be kind of like, unless it's a very particular designer, it may not be that desirable. So it may bring in more money if we hand it in to be made into something else. Not jewelry, but I thought I would show you these little salt and peppers with the mother of pearl top. I see these once in a while, and there's usually damage to the mother of pearl. So this was $2, and I thought they were very nice. They're cut glass. They're older, obviously. Like, they could be quite a bit older, 20s, maybe before. And just in very good shape for what they are. So I think if someone is looking for a dainty, delicate little pair of salt and pepper, there you go. I picked this up. I thought it was the cat's meow. I thought, well, this is like a crushed turquoise inlaid. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading something I hadn't read before. Oh, it says something I can't read, so I'll have to report sometime on this. But this one does read India on the back. And again, that was like 50 cents each. But you know, when I do research on that online, it doesn't look like it's going for much. It's like, I don't know if it's under the radar and people haven't noticed it. Because I just think it's so fetching. There's something exotic about it. And I don't know. I'll still try and sell it. Must be somebody out there who can appreciate it. Now, the next block of this particular video, here I will show you. We went to this garage sale not long ago, and we walked in and see this ton of antique-y things and also hat trim. Lots of bits and pieces for like trimming, dresses, hats, quite spectacular. And I started talking to the woman who was selling that stuff, and she was basically saying she works for a costumier. I'm trying to think in English. It's like a costume. Yeah, she works in a costume shop. So she works for someone who designs and produces costumes. I don't know if it's for TV or, you know, theater or whatever, but that's the shop. That's what they do there. And so she had hat trim like this that I basically got for free with some other stuff that I was getting. It's all fabric flowers that you would pin to a hat. But what she also had was feathers. And these feathers are glued to this piece of fabric, creating a pad, otherwise known, as I found out, as a coque in French, like a little coquille or shell. This one has little sparkles on it. They're all so beautiful and vintage. And I got all sorts of different ones in this pack. Some of them are pink. They're a little tricky to manipulate, but I'll get a pink one out just so you could see. And there you go. So she had this. She had packs kind of like that of feathers, and they were $5 a pack. Now, I would have loved to buy everything she had, but at that price, I kind of thought, yeah, but, you know, I don't know how it's going to sell. Like, I think they're magical, but, and there's a desire for these things. I know I've sold some hat trim that was amazing. It was like flattened velvet flowers, and they sold for like $35 the moment I put them up. So there's interest in that, but it's hard to know the nuance, you know, exactly what you want. Flowers or feathers or both popular. That's going to be a learning process as I put these up, because that's really the way you're going to find out, isn't it? So the thing with that is that, but I looked up some of these pads, a single pad, will sell sometimes for between $10 to $20. I don't know how long it takes for them to sell, but you know what I'm saying. So we will try and we shall see. I got those. I got 2 other packs. I got some extra feathers because some of them were really interesting. This one in particular, and I shall lay it down here, is really to be placed on a hat for the French cavalry, I believe. It's like it's a military type of feather arrangement that denotes your rank, your position. So I'm going to have to do a little more research on that, but because it's the red, white, blue is the French flag, I thought this must be some sort of French significance, and it was, so that was cool, and that was $5 too. We bought buttons from the same lady. My wonderful husband was clever enough to pick up these buttons. They're all glass, black glass, probably Victorian, old anyways. We've sold some buttons that have done very well, so you know, that might be something interesting. We paid $25 for a bunch of buttons, so definitely, oh, I'm sorry, 12. We seem to have paid $12, and I thought we paid $25. I'm a lucky woman. So we'll do reasonably well with that. This, I said, oh, we have to get these. I don't know if you'll be able to see. These buttons have like a crane painted on them, a bird, a little scene there. They're metal buttons. And I thought somebody's going to want that. This one is more worn, unfortunately, but it's very striking and fun and vintage. These, because they're metal and have kind of like a little enamel flower. And these, we bought some other ones, but I just wanted to give you an idea, a sort of filigree metal. And that was awesome. I also picked up recently at another sale completely this perfume bottle, which I loved because of the color. And it's all cut glass, and I don't think there's any chips, anything wrong with it. I bought it for $5, which I wouldn't normally do. But because usually something like that, unless it's engraved, unless it has like a really tall stopper and something sculpted in the middle and etched and things, you know, it won't make as much as you think, you know, something like that. I am expecting that 20 is probably the top of what I'm going to get. I may get 15. I would think it's better than that. I mean, mind you, because of the color, I may try 25 and see what happens. And so this is where we are presently. This is a tiny portion of the stuff we've gathered. Our house is full, and we will endeavor to bring you more stuff very soon. So hang in there, go picking, have a good time.